Hello everyone, welcome back to another reaction video. This time we're going to be reacting to 10 Lost Secrets in Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. Before we hop into it, I just want to say thank you for seeing the last video. I know I haven't been really uploading plushie videos. I don't really have a good camera, so I'm gonna fix it. But right now, I'm going to try to do ranking videos, reaction videos. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, let's get to it.
Guys, it's Micah, and for Chapter 2's 1-year anniversary, I'm going to reveal to you 10 lost secrets from Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. We'll be discovering everything from deleted scenes, lost locations, to over a dozen unused characters. Keep in mind, this list does contain major spoilers for Chapter 2, so if you haven't played it yet, go play it, and then come back. You have been warned. Before we start, I want to let you know we're doing a giveaway for 10 copies of Chapter 2. More information on how to win your free copy later in the video. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1. Chapter 2's alternate opening.
Okay.
Poppy Playtime fans will remember that Chapter 2 opens with us exploring Elliot Ludwig's office and eventually finding Poppy in a hidden room below. But Chapter 2 didn't always start this way. In a now deleted opening of the chapter, after freeing Poppy from her case, you wake up and are immediately greeted by the sight of Poppy peeking out behind a door. The sequence continues with you following Poppy as she slinks throughout various hallways. Following Poppy then led you back outside to where Huggy Wuggy fell in Chapter 1. What followed was a 10-minute parkour sequence down the catwalk.
That's sick! Wow! 10 out of 10 for that.
And conveyor belts
10 out of 10 for that.
Power puzzle that activated an elevator, taking you down to the game station to meet your new foe, Mommy Longlegs. Now, you're probably wondering why this never ended up in the game.
Yeah.
There are a few reasons this alternate intro was abandoned. The first reason was chasing Poppy was just turning out too funny. The sequence went through 3 major iterations, starting with you straight up chasing Poppy to follow her, but that just ended up being way too funny. Version 2 was Poppy peeking out behind doorways and walls, but that was almost even funnier. In the last version, you see Poppy's shadow moving across the floor and walls. This version was definitely the creepiest iteration, and it's the one we ended up sticking with for quite a long time.
Yeah.
But in the end, it was abandoned for just feeling a little too cheesy.
I don't think you should have abandoned it.
It was too long. You went through a 10-minute parkour sequence and a wild goose chase without really learning or seeing anything interesting, which leads us to the final reason for the scene's abandonment. Mommy Longlegs had no mention or build-up. To fix these shortcomings, we completely redid the intro sequence. We first added Elliot Ludwig's office to the sequence so you had an interesting location to explore. We then changed following Poppy to Poppy talking to you to make her a relatable character instead of just a cheesy horror doll that you follow around. Then we added a scene forcing you to watch Poppy be kidnapped before your eyes to build up the threat of Mommy Longlegs. And finally, we had you jump down a slide rather than jump down
Let's
catwalk.
go!
In the end, these changes are why the alternate opening of Chapter 2 never saw the light of day. Number 2. Mommy Longlegs' alternate intro scene. Mommy's intro scene was one of the hardest things to get right in Chapter 2. The scene went through multiple versions of dialogue and pacing. These alternate versions, while relatively similar to the final, had a few key differences. Here's the first alternate version.
Why, oh my! Hello down there!
Hello.
I wasn't expecting company.
Yeah.
Always tells Mommy when guests are on their way down. Didn't this time.
You mean Poppy?
Always tells Mommy. Shh, you're okay now. Mommy will take care of you. Mommy wants to take you somewhere special. It's easy to get lost down here. Some have lost their way and never found it again. But Mommy won't let that happen to you. Mommy always knows where you are.
So yeah, in this version of the scene, there were a few key elements missing from a storytelling standpoint. 1. Mommy's introduction to the story didn't influence anything about your current objective. 2. The player had no reason to feel threatened by Mommy Longlegs because she had no prior build-up at the time.
I
so we
mean,
addressed
should
some
have
of
changed
these
up the
issues in
voice
version 2.
lines, animation.
Why, oh my! Hello down there. I think you lost theirs. Do you want it back?
That's crap.
No, of course not. Though Mommy assumes this is something you want back. Finding Seeing you two down here was surprising. Always tells Mommy when guests are on their way down. Didn't this time?
Yeah, I know that.
Always tells Mommy. Mommy loves to play games. Do you like to play games? How about
I mean, I like,
games with Mommy? Oh,
what type of games? Board games? I like, Hungry Hippos. That's a board game, guys. Grow up.
Love to play. Some have lost their way and never found it again.
Get your face out
But
of
Mommy won't let that happen to
Get
you.
your face
Mommy
out of my
always
face.
knows where you are.
So this version addressed one of the big issues. Mommy now kidnaps Poppy to give the player a motive to play Mommy's games. But then we realized something. The player doesn't even need Poppy. Who cares if she's kidnapped? So Mommy showing up still didn't affect your current objective. So here's what we did to solve it. We had Poppy be the only one who knows the train code, so now you need her to escape. We also added that scene where Mommy comes out of nowhere and pulls Poppy down into the abyss. Problem solved. Now, Mommy steals your only way of escape, and watching Mommy kidnap Poppy makes her introduction all the more threatening. Number 3. The game station's lost designs.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued about this. But, I'm just kind of surprised how they actually improved their, animation skills.
Fans will remember that the game station features a giant mural of Mommy
Yeah.
Longlegs, a playground
Wasn't
for
really
the
a
kids,
fan of
and
that,
entrances
but
to the station's
hey, I
three main
still-
games.
I
But it didn't
stuck
used to
with
be
it.
this way. The original design of the game
What? That's sick! No, I would have loved this. If this was out on the chapter, but let me guess, it's poorly bad design.
station was absolutely massive, and featured a mural on the roof with a giant sun and moon illuminating the station.
Yeah,
Although it looked
Security
jaw-dropping,
Beach
there
reference,
were two
what?
major issues. It was unrealistically big and was
And
completely
very,
empty.
very cool.
It didn't seem like it could have been a real functioning location for kids. The second version featured a new design for the sun and moon,
Yeah!
and a lot more color in the room to make it more exciting for the kids who visit. However,
Love
it
it.
was still completely empty.
Love it.
So we went back to the drawing board, keeping in mind
Sorry-
what a place
sorry
like
if
the
you hear
game
background
station would
noises,
need
guys.
to be a fully functional and realistic location. In the end, we shrunk the room, added a big playground for the kids to play in while they waited for their turn in the games, added structural supports for realism, catwalks for Playtime Co. employees to observe the things going on, and of course, added some classic Playtime Co. style branding. Number 4. Musical Memories Lost Design.
Okay, I'm getting intrigued by this. Sorry if I keep pausing it every time we're at the number thingy. It's the only where I'll pause, but I'm intrigued about this. I don't know how it will get interesting. We'll just have to see.
Musical Memory used to have a much different aesthetic than it currently does. In the original version, the walls were completely covered in TV screens of various sizes that would display the name of the button that you're supposed to press, and the buttons you press during the game used to be suspended by big mechanical arms. The reason this design was abandoned was fairly straightforward. The aesthetic was too high-tech looking for Playtime Co. The array of TVs and mechanical arms
Yeah,
made
facts,
the room
facts.
feel closer
That's
to a
still pretty
spaceship
cool,
than a toy
though.
factory. On top of that, we also decided that we wanted to include an area where Mommy Longlegs could watch you play, and that just wasn't going to work in a curved room with a bunch of TVs. Number 5. Cassie Cutie Pillar. Some of you may actually be aware of this one. Cassie Cutie
Yeah,
Pillar
I know.
is the original character
Yeah, I
that
know.
was going to be chasing you throughout the Statues game. She was a giant caterpillar with a pink snout, beady eyes, and 2 antennae. Cassie
Ugh.
actually appeared in the
I actually
official
saw
Chapter
the
2
trailer.
trailer before she was scrapped. Though Cassie was cute, we felt we had the opportunity to make the character more unique by creating an unholy combination of 2 different animals. So we went back to the drawing board. We spent a long time picking the right face for this new character, something that didn't feel too goofy for the statues section of the game. Eventually, we settled on the design that would become
Hey,
PJ
buddy.
Pugpillar. This was one of the later changes we made to Chapter 2,
Cutie
as we had
Pugpillar.
already made a completely finished model of Cassie,
Ooh.
complete with furs
Ooh.
and eyeballs, as
Yeah,
well as
she looks
various
so
art
good.
of Cassie throughout the game having to be swapped with the new PJ art. Number 6, Daisy the Flower and 7 other characters.
Daisy the Flower and 7 others? Okay. Let's see this one.
This is probably the most well-known one on the list. Very
Yes.
similar to Cassie Cutie Pillar,
I've
Daisy
seen
was
so
the
much
original
videos
character that was going to be
about her.
luring towards you during the musical memory game. She was a flower marionette suspended on strings with a very unsettling face. Like Cassie, Daisy also appeared briefly in the trailer for Chapter 2. Daisy was abandoned because we wanted a character with more theming, and a way to alert the player that death was getting closer and closer. And this is where things got difficult. We went through 7 completely different character concepts for the musical memory toy. A monkey, a clown, a fox, a princess, a bluebird, another bird, a ballerina bird, and finally, a bunny. We liked the bunny because he had great theming with his cymbals and clothes, as well as his cymbals serving as a great audio tool as you hear him descending upon you in musical memory. After a few slight design tweaks and color variations, we finally got the Bunzo Bunny we all know today. Daisy the Flower wasn't completely absent from Chapter 2, however, as we see various art and posters of her throughout the game, as well as a full cardboard cutout with voice lines from Daisy. Number 7, Mommy Longlegs Alternate Designs. Mommy Longlegs went through dozens of designs before she became the noodly pink maniac we all know today. 2 of these scrap designs actually show up in Chapter 2 as old blueprints for Mommy Longlegs. The first design was a noodly plush doll with button eyes. It was cute, but that was the problem. The design wasn't eerie enough. A few other things on top of that was she looked too young for her name to be Mommy. She didn't have enough resemblance to a spider for her long legs.
Looks like an anime character.
And we wanted to try making her a plastic toy to make her feel more unique from Huggy Wuggy. For the next designs, we really tried to push the spider look, as well as make her appearance a bit more creepy. She did look like a spider now, but too much so. To the point where we didn't think it would be realistic for Playtime Co. to create a toy like her. Another issue was this design didn't necessarily look like a toy at first glance either. The next designs really tried to push the creep factor in the face, and reel back a bit on the spider elements. This design pass is also where we came up with the idea of Mommy having limbs that could stretch. Originally, her limbs were going to extend in the form of plastic tubes, similar to the way a lightsaber toy might extend. This design was scrapped because of the challenge of making her limbs bend while also being made of extending plastic tubes. The variation of colors also made her design feel too sporadic and complex. To solve these problems, we came up with the concept of elastic plastic, a substance that Playtime Co. created that can stretch like rubber but also retain its shape and position. We also simplified her color pattern and gave her a spherical waist similar to a spider's abdomen. We concepted a few alternate designs after this one with more spider-like features. However, the problem from before still persisted that it was too spider-like and creepy for Playtime Co. to have realistically made. Number 8, the 6 Lost Toys. From the beginning of Chapter 2, we knew we wanted to have new toys present in each of the games in the game station. These became Bunzo Bunny, the Mini Huggies, and PJ Pugapillar. But before those were made, we had 6 different potential characters created to fill these roles. Jolly Clown, who went through a few design iterations, Lovebug, who actually appears in Chapter 2 as a rejected toy, Psydog, a robot dog toy, Sunny Buddy, who also appears as a rejected toy, Lily the Frog, a frog on roller skates, and Monster Truck. That one kind of speaks for itself. Number 9, the Quality Control Room and the Production Room. In Chapter 2, before entering musical memory, you take a detour to the molding room where you create the green electric hand. In an early version of the chapter, every game you go to was going to be paired with a factory room similar to the molding room. Whack-A-Wuggy had the production room, and Statues had the quality control room. These rooms were never implemented into the game and were scrapped during the concept phase because they just seemed like unnecessary filler. Number 10, Mommy Longlegs' death scene. One of Chapter 2's most infamous moments is the death of Mommy Longlegs. After minutes of running away from Mommy, you're backed into a corner with no way out. But just as all hope seems lost, you pull down a lever that activates a grinder. Mommy's arm is pulled into the grinder and she desperately tries to escape, screaming for her life as she's slowly crushed to death. Now, you wouldn't think it, but there was actually quite a bit of debate behind the scenes about how Mommy should be pulled into the grinder. In an alternate version of Mommy's death, she was actually pulled inside and carried into the pulp, leaving her lifeless lower half to fall onto the floor. Here it is.
What have you done? You make me part of you! You can't do this to me!
Oh god.
We decided to scrap this version for 2 reasons. 1, the imagery of Mommy's upper half being dragged away would be more resonant than her lower half being dragged away. And 2, Mommy's head being grinded up might have just been too gruesome to show without the game getting an
too
end
gruesome.
rating. So there you go. Those were 10 lost secrets in Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. And in honor of Chapter 2's anniversary...
Right, guys, I'm gonna leave it for today. So, I hope you enjoyed today's reaction video. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. See you later.